Do you ever feel overwhelmed by the ever-changing world of technology? Tech It Out can help make some sense of it all. Breaking down geek speak into street speak, technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman covers consumer technology each week for every listener. Mark tackles the latest news, reviews, and how-tos to help you understand what's hot, what's not, and why.
Hey everyone, welcome to Tech It Out, episode number 84. Whether you're tuning in on your local radio station or listening to the podcast version of Tech It Out, thank you for joining us. As you likely know, and as you heard from the announcer, my goal isn't just to celebrate technology, but my goal is also to help demystify it, to make some sense of this digital world in a language you can understand. Coming up on today's Tech It Out, we're going to learn about a new high-tech food bowl for pets, which includes a camera and AI, or artificial intelligence, to know who it's feeding and then dispense the correct food. We're going to also talk with Poker Stars, the biggest poker site on the internet, and how you can now play poker in VR using a virtual reality headset. Cool stuff. And then finally, we're going to learn about the evolution of business cards with a digital version called vCard. And we're going to catch up with vCard Global, the company, and what they offer that paper business cards can't. All right, let's kick things off. If you're a pet lover, there were a few cool products that debuted at the recent Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas, the annual tech convention that lets you see products before they come out to the general public. And one product that garnered quite a bit of buzz at the show, and it even won a CES Innovation Award, was called Mookkie. Billed as a smart pet feeder for dogs and cats. It's from an Italian tech company called Volta that specializes in AI, or artificial intelligence. To tell us all about it, joining us on the line all the way from beautiful Italy is Silvio Ravelli, CEO of Volta. Welcome to the show, Silvio. Benvenuto.
Hi, Mark. Thank you. Grazie mille.
All right, well, welcome to the program, and thanks for your time, and congratulations on this Innovation Award. Please tell us what Mookkie is all about.
Thank you, Mark. Mookkie is about a smart pet bowl that uses artificial intelligence to recognize the face of the cat or of the dog, so we can open or close a flap and release the food only for the right pet. So if a neighbor pet arrives and wants to eat the food of your own pet, this could not be possible. This is not possible.
Okay, so it's been said good technology solves a problem. So many pet owners can agree that if you have more than one pet, sometimes that one dog or that one cat will eat the other pet's food. So this eliminates that because the camera can recognize the face and then dispense the appropriate food for that pet only.
Absolutely. It's exactly the same technology you have on modern smartphones. It's a face unlock. But instead of applying to human faces for unlocking smartphones, we applied the same technology with a face of pets for unlocking the food. So the use cases are unlimited for multi-pet households, or for protecting from wild animals like raccoons, birds, rats, and also baby could steal your pet food.
Wow. Well, we wouldn't want that to happen, but yeah. I see another application here, Silvio. If you've got, let's say, two dogs or a dog and a cat, and one of your pets has special dietary restrictions, that they have to have special food, whether it's temporary or long term, this could also make sure that that pet only gets the appropriate food for them.
Yes, initially we underestimate this market and this application. Instead, we are receiving literally tons of emails on the Mookkie website of pet owners telling us that they have two different diets because probably one pet is maybe younger, the other one is older, or maybe one has a kidney, heart disease. There are a huge amount of these cases where the Mookkie pet bowl could be extremely useful.
Okay, so it's called Mookkie, M-O-O-K-K-I-E. Does that mean something?
No, it's my cat name.
That's so funny. That's cute. And because this is radio, Silvio, can you explain what the pet bowl looks like? Does it look like a regular food bowl that you would buy for your dog or cat?
Yes, has a very rounded shape with a little tower where there is the camera allocated and points to the bowl. The camera recognizes the pet face, but also the amount of food that is inside the pet bowl. So with the mobile app of Mookkie, you can understand how much food is left inside and how often your pet is eating. So it's very useful also when you are away from home.
Oh, interesting. I'll ask you more about the accompanying app that you would use on a smartphone with Mookkie. But so just to go back to the bowl again, is it two separate dispensers because you may have two pets, or does it dispense in the same bowl?
No, we have only one dispenser that is a bowl, it's not a feeder. So you have to put the food every day by yourself, right, or charging someone to do this. Mm-hmm. But the idea is that you can allow multiple animals to eat from the same bowl.
Okay, so it's one bowl, not two. I didn't see it at CES, but the picture looked like there was two separate parts to the bowl. So it's just one, but the camera recognizes who is walking up to the bowl, and then it will dispense the appropriate food. Is it difficult to program? Like, let's say you have two cats, and how do you program that camera with the artificial intelligence behind the scenes? How do you program it to recognize one face? You have to hold the cat's face in front of it?
Oh, it's super simple. It's enough that with your smartphone, you take some picture of your cat or your cat face frontal, and that's all. You upload the cat faces to the bowl with a direct Wi-Fi or Bluetooth connection, mm-hmm, and immediately the bowl authorizes only that cat and not the other one. Oh. You could also play in a little bit adjusting the parameters, so it could be more aggressive and tends to protect the food more with a higher degrees of confidence, mm-hmm, or maybe if you are afraid that something doesn't work well because of you have two very similar cats or something like this. At this point, you can relax a little bit this parameter.
Mm-hmm. We're chatting with Silvio Ravelli. He's the CEO of Volta, a company that introduced the world to Mookkie at the Consumer Electronics Show. It's a smart pet food bowl that uses facial recognition to identify the exact pet approved for feeding. Tell us a little bit more about the app, please, Silvio. So you, even if you're at work for the day, you could be notified as to how much food is in the bowl. Like you may know that your pet's not eating, right? Or that they only ate half the food or something like that.
Absolutely. If you are away from home, you can see what's happening inside the bowl because the camera orientation lets you see all the content of the bowl, and automatically tells you how much food has been eaten from the pet, and it tells also you which pet has eaten the food.
Got it. Okay, cool. Second last question, Silvio, because it uses a camera with AI on the back end and all that, does it need to be plugged into the wall, or is it battery operated?
Actually, it needs to be plugged into the wall, like many smart devices we are used to, like the Amazon Echo or the Google Assistant, okay, because the computation power cannot be cannot rely only on battery.
That's what I figured, and because it is something that's usually in the same place in a home, it's not a big deal to plug it into the wall, and I'm sure it doesn't consume a lot of power either.
No, it's not. It's not a mobile device, so
yeah, I understand that.
Not be.
All right, and then finally, Silvio, for those listening right now who own dogs or cats, or they want to maybe buy this as a gift for someone who does, it sounds like a great invention. How much does it cost in the U.S. and in Canada, and when can it be purchased?
We forecast a retail price of $189. For US and the equivalent for Canada.
Yep.
We think that in September we will be ready for distribution.
All right, September 2019. And in the meantime,
yes,
is there a place we can pre-order or read more information about Mookkie? What's the best website?
Actually, the www.mookie.com is the website where you can get all the information. We are not accepting pre-order, but your suggestion or emails puts you in the priority list for September. So please explain us why you need Mookkie, and so we can also collect a lot of use cases and the different type of customers.
All right, so Mookkie.com. Again, it's M like Michael, OOKKIE.com. That's the correct.
Exactly.
Okay. Silvio Ravelli, thank you so much for your time. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you. Bye.
Right, ciao.
Ciao.
All right, ciao. That's pretty much the extent of my Italian. But it was pretty cool that we joined him on the line all the way from Italy. Cool stuff. Hey, before we continue on with this show, Tech It Out is powered by ASUS. ASUS creates technology for today and tomorrow's smart life, including its line of award-winning laptops called ZenBooks, as well as desktops, monitors, smartphones, tablets, smartwatches, and much, much more, including their gaming line of gear called ROG, or Republic of Gamers. You got to check that out. For those in search of incredible, visit asus.com/US/radio for more info. That's asus.com/US/radio. When we return on Tech It Out, we're going to catch up with poker stars to not only learn what's new from the world's biggest poker site on the internet, but also this new VR version of the game. You can don a virtual reality headset and play poker with those over the internet as if you were right beside them in real life. Cool stuff. We'll be right back with more Tech It Out.
Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want. Find the Tech It Out podcast at iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Tech It Out. No doubt you've heard of or have played PokerStars, one of the biggest online poker sites on the planet, which you can play on your Windows PC or Mac, iPhone, iPad, or Android device. But guess what? There's a virtual reality option now too, to really make you feel like you're there playing with people. Joining us on the line to chat is Sevran Rasset. He is the Director of Poker Innovation and Operations at the Stars Group. That's the parent company to PokerStars. We also have on the line Jeff Landy from Lucky VR, the company that's powering the virtual reality support on the game. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Hi, Mark. Very pleased to speak with you.
And hi, Jeff.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Appreciate it, guys. Before we continue, however, it would be remiss not to acknowledge that PokerStars is free to play for anyone in any state, but to play for money, it's currently only legal in New Jersey. All right. So, Sevran, let's start with you. Before we talk about virtual reality, talk to us about PokerStars. This is one of the biggest poker sites on the internet, no?
Definitely the biggest one, yes. We operate since 2001, and today, we try to operate as globally as possible, and we are present in more than 21 licenses. So we're with the operator that gets the most licenses in the world, and we, like in Europe, with markets like Italy, Spain, France, UK, Germany, and we definitely we run more than 600 hands per sec, and we have more players than anybody else, so that allows us to offer the biggest tournament that you can find. So for example, we have a tournament with 1 million guarantee every week. We also have some special events where we can offer up to 10 million guarantee that can be won on one single tournament. And for any video game, what you can find is the more players you have, the easier it is to offer a good offer, because you have less waiting time, you have more competitors that you can play with, and you can offer the biggest prize pool.
Couple of questions for you, Sevran. Do you always play against other human players? Of course, in a tournament, I would expect so, but can you also play against the game, like the AI? And do you always have to play for money? Can you play for fun?
So on the first question, for us, it's very important that is always against humans versus humans. We promote the game as being a game where you use your brain, you use your memory and your knowledge to get better. And this is something that we want to promote and we want to enforce. So we make sure that we have people playing against each other. And in order to actually secure this ability to play in a safe environment, we have a team of 75 people where the only job is to make sure that the game are running securely. On your second question, it's actually like we have both available. What is interesting for us is that we offer a very large range of stakes on the real money side, so the part where you pay, meaning that if you want to play for thousands of dollars, we have this ability, but we also have the option to play for cents. It means that you can sit on a table for as little as $2 and actually being able to play for a couple of hours. And on top of it, we also offer like a free version of all the games that we have available. So meaning that for any game that you can find in real money, you can find a counterpart in play money with like a very similar experience. We kept the same quality between the play money part and the real money part.
All right, before we chat with you, Jeff Landy from Lucky VR about the virtual reality component here, we've got on the line Severin Resset from PokerStars. What gives PokerStars a competitive advantage over all the other poker sites out there on the internet?
So I think it's going to be quite a mix of elements. I don't think there is one silver bullet. It's more like the addition of different features. So the first one that comes to my mind is the quality of the software. That was something that is very much embedded into our DNA, that we wanted to invest to have the best possible available software out there, and reliability, security, and the ability for players to have a good experience was something that was always a core reason for us to develop it that way. So that would be the first one. Then there's the second one, that is about liquidity. So liquidity is about the number of players that you have available. And there is like a virtuous circle that the more players you have, the better it is for them, because they need to wait less when they want to play. They can find more variants available. So for example, somebody will want to play like start to play at 11. He will be able to find more players on PokerStars than anywhere else. Or like some players like different variants. So you have one that is very famous, No Limit Hold'em. That is the one that you see on TV and that most of the new players like. But over time, their taste can evolve, and you have like different variants. So like, for example, another one that is called Pot Limit Omar, that you play with 4 cards instead of 2. And like, players enjoy to play 2. And because we have such a large pool of players, we are allowed to have more variety into the games that you can find. And the third one, as I mentioned, is also like the fact that we are regulated everywhere where we can be. It's also something that we make sure that as soon as the regulation is supporting online poker, we want to be the first one to operate and offer this possibility to our players. And the fourth reason for us, like also where we think that we are very different from the competition, is also like the investment that we're doing into the security of our games. So this is something that we want to make sure that our players can play safely, and they just can focus on the entertainment value that we provide. And so we make sure that their game runs smoothly, and we try to protect them as much as possible with like several millions that we invest into the game integrity part.
All right, got it, Severin. Thank you. Did promise that we're going to talk about VR or virtual reality and that version of PokerStars, but hold on to that thought, because when we return, we're going to talk with Lucky VR about the PokerStars implementation in virtual reality. So when we return on the program, we will continue our chat about poker meets VR. Very cool hybrid of the two. We're going to be back with more Tech It Out on the Radio American Network. Stay with us.
Want to follow Mark? Google him. Mark with a C and Saltzman with a Z. Breaking down geek speak into street speak. This is Tech It Out, with technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. We're chatting with Severin Resset. He is the Director of Poker Innovation and Operations at the Stars Group, the parent company to PokerStars. But now let's chat with Jeff Landy. He's from Lucky VR, the company powering the virtual reality support on the game. All right, Jeff, now let's chat with you about PokerStars VR. What's it all about?
Sure. So PokerStars VR is kind of the best way to play poker. It's kind of a new way to play using virtual reality that combines the best elements of live poker, where you kind of get this social, human-to-human interaction, as well as the convenience of online poker, where you kind of play with people from around the world, very conveniently from your home.
All right, so walk us through the process. You need an HMD, a head-mounted display. What systems are supported, and then what is it like to wear it? I mean, and play, let's say, a virtual version of Texas Hold'em wearing a headset. Because it's radio, please walk us through what the experience is like.
Sure. Yeah, so that's correct. You need a HMD, a head-mounted display. Right now, it's PC-based, so you would need an Oculus Rift or an HTC Vive. And basically what you do is you put on the headset and you're kind of transported to this kind of futuristic hub, which is our multiplayer lobby of PokerStars VR. Once you're in there, you'll see other players. They'll be customizing their avatars, putting on virtual PokerStars gear. There's a spin wheel in the lobby that you can spin every 8 hours and get some poker chips to pad your bankroll. And then from there, you have a holographic watch menu that you press, and it will show you all of the games that are running in the PokerStars VR universe. So there are 6 completely different environments to play in, from like a Western saloon to a kind of futuristic Macau rooftop to a kind of PokerStars arena level. And you'll be able to choose, which environment, see the players that are playing in those games and kind of where they're from. And, if it's high stakes or low stakes, you're able to choose your own game. You select the game you want, and then you press kind of join, and you're transported into a virtual, table with other people where you get your chips, your cards, and you're able to start playing, a really realistic, high-fidelity poker game kind of right away in virtual reality.
All right, so do you, in real life, when you're wearing the headset, look down as if you were going to look at your cards and your chips? Or if you look left and right, do you see, like, the person beside you playing a game that may be in another state or country?
Absolutely, yeah. So it mimics kind of real life, kind of one-to-one. So that was really one of the big design considerations we made when developing the game, was that every action that you took had to feel as natural as possible. So if you're going to look at your cards in real life, you're using your hand with a hand controller to kind of make a similar action, squeeze your cards up to kind of get a peek at what they are. If you look to your left and to your right, these are real opponents in real time that you can speak with. You can kind of get information from, pick up tells, kind of depending on what they say and how they bet. And really it kind of mimics as if you were at a real poker table, but you're in virtual reality.
And when you say tells, I mean, it's not like you can see their face change or, make like a twitch or, roll their eyes or something like that. You know what I mean? Is there any facial tells that this can pick up, or it's really just something that they say or how they bet?
So eye tracking is not implemented yet with kind of, facial tracking, but that isn't in the too far future. But even with the information we have now, because the HMD, the head-mounted display virtual reality headsets, are tracking the head movements and hand movements at such a precise level of your opponents, you're able to pick up an amazing amount of information just from the way that their kind of avatar is moving and talking. I think we're calling them avatels, which is an avatar tell, which is a new kind of poker terminology where you can really start really getting a good sense of, if these people are strong or they're weak. It's really amazing just because the tracking is really precise in virtual reality.
And Jeff, if you allow me to add, like a couple of elements, it's also, you can see people looking at their cards, you can see people grabbing their chips and the way that they're going to bet. So you can do a face-off bet and just putting your chips on the table, or you can throw them. You can hear also like the people sometimes they will, you can hear the impatience in their voice. So like the range of tells is very large, and that's where it's very similar. And also you have this ability to interact with players, with other players at the table, so you can speak with them, and it's also a good way to get information and also to make it more alive, because it's so much more fun when you can actually speak with the other players at the table. And the social aspect is something that is really key for us, that I think is creating this unique experience, because people come back because they have friends that they have played before. They have this competition, they have like a leaderboard where they can fight against each other to see who is the best player. And I think, you start to come because you're curious, you heard about poker, and then you come back also because there is a community waiting for you. People are really welcoming new players and helping them how to play, and you feel that you're part of something that is bigger than you.
Mm-hmm. And what games are supported in virtual reality at this point?
So at this point, it's Texas Hold'em cash game is what we're starting with. And that's really a great game to kind of build the base player base with. So we have a leaderboard competition, as I've mentioned, that kind of builds on top of the cash games, where every week we try to determine who was the biggest kind of net positive winner in the cash games for that week. And the competition really heats up towards the end of the week, and it resets kind of every Sunday night. And afterwards, we will be adding sit-and-go tournaments, which are kind of single-table tournaments. So if you'd like to play more of a winner-take-all style game, that will be added. And we'll be adding just a lot more content and game types in the future later on this year.
All right. So, Sevran, can you tell us how to get going? I guess you just download the app or you go to the website and create an account. And what would be the minimum age to play?
In terms of downloading the game, it's very easy. You can type just PokerStars VR, and you're gonna find the way to download it. So it's available on Steam. That's for all PC players. That's probably the easiest way. Or you can find it through HTC or Oculus Rift shop. It would be a direct download, and you can just take it from there. And as soon as you download it, you don't need to create an account or do anything. You can just start to play.
Okay, so that's for PokerStars VR, but for the regular PokerStars, you just go to the website or the app, correct?
Yeah, for the regular Stars, PokerStars client, so you, depending on where you are, you just type PokerStars on Google, or you type PokerStars.com, and you're going to find the application ready to be downloaded, whatever the device that you use. We're compatible with everything that exists.
All right. Sevran Rasset, Director of Poker Innovation and Operations at the Stars Group, and Jeff Landy from Lucky VR. Thank you very much for your time, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Mark.
Thanks a lot, Mark.
You're listening to Tech It Out on the Radio America Network. When we return, we're going to catch up with vCard Global to hear about their high-tech alternative to traditional business cards. We'll be right back.
Breaking down geek speak into street speak. Tech It Out, hosted by Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. A big thank you to Asus, the title sponsor on Tech It Out, creating technology for today and tomorrow's smart life. Visit asus.com/US/radio for more info. That's asus.com/US/radio for more info on all of their products. All right, let's carry on with the show. You might not think something like a business card could be modernized, but it might have to, in order to survive, as there's a disconnect between our digital lifestyle with a smartphone in everyone's pocket and getting a piece of paper with someone's information on it. Well, enter vCard, which is looking to disrupt this space. Joining us on the line to chat is Stephen Remondini. He's the Chief Technical Officer at vCard Global. Welcome to the show, Stephen.
Thanks for having me, Mark.
Sure thing. Now, let's just dive right in. What is vCard all about?
Well, vCard was created to basically allow people to stay in contact with each other. And it seemed like the right thing to do, or the right way to approach it, was start with a virtual or digital business card. And then it kind of grew from there. Bottom line is that anybody who gets a vCard can stay in contact regardless if you've changed businesses or if you change your telephone number. And secondly, and most important, is you as the user or the owner of this card get to choose what information is seen publicly and what information is seen privately.
All right, so it's a virtual card, hence the V in vCard, and it does have, it sounds like, some benefits, because not only are we, as I said in my introduction, in an increasingly digital world, certainly in the business world as well, but it also means that your information is always up to date. So the reason why I updated my business cards, my paper business cards recently, was for two reasons. One is I was running out, and secondly is that I changed my email address. So so with a vCard, it's done digitally. So I'm assuming you have this password-protected website that lets you go in there and change everything. So when someone taps or clicks on your vCard, maybe at the end of an email address, then it'll always be up to date.
That's actually correct, Mark. And in fact, it's based on a mini website technology. When you actually see the card on your phone or you see it on your desktop, it actually looks like a phone. And what it allows you to do then is, as you change information, anybody that has your card gets a notification that information has been changed. And there's a variety of other things that you can actually use it for. We have companies around the world now that not only have eliminated their paper business cards, but they've actually reduced their printed media costs by 60 or 80%, because now you can put on brochures, you can put on videos, you can put a coupon or an RSVP to event that allows you to come back to an email address, and so you can get your contact list or your guest list associated with that event. So there's a lot of functions that keep people in contact with the V card, as well as it just simply replaces that paper business card, which, as we all know nowadays, 88% of those cards are actually thrown away in the first 6 or 7 days upon receiving them.
Or in my case, thrown in a drawer and never to be looked at again.
Exactly, and I had the same thing. I had bundles of them, tied up in rubber bands and put them in card files and stuff like that. And now the only thing I've ever used for the last couple of years has been the V card, and I have a complete contact list. I can follow up with people. I can send it out automatically in different areas and change any information on it, and knowing that everybody in that contact list is getting those changes.
Does it work with social media? If I want to link to, say, a Twitter account or an Instagram page, and also because it's digital, can it support things like video? Like obviously a paper business card can't showcase ability to give a keynote speech, for example, or a TV interview I did, but something online can.
Yeah, great question. The answer to all of that is absolutely. Let me address the social media. This is one of the only apps in the world that when you launch it and you decide to send your card out to a prospective client or somebody you're just meeting, you have several ways of doing it. You can do it with email. You can do it with texting. You can do it with a QR code. If somebody has a scanner on the code, they can scan the code and take your card down. You can also use what's called a short code. So you can text the name of the card to a short code and they can take it down that way. The interesting part is it gives you the option. So if you've got WhatsApp, or if you've got Twitter, or if you've got LinkedIn or Skype or Facebook also installed on the phone, you can choose one of those mediums by which to send your V card as well.
Okay, very cool. When we return after this short break, I'm going to ask VCard Global about how their solution differs from other high-tech ones that are out there on the market. I know there are a few other alternatives that are either mobile-centric or they're computer-based, but it's the same idea. So I'm going to pick his brain about that. Also hear about the social media aspect, and there's some other applications outside of business cards that I think are kind of neat. So we're going to get to all of that when we return on the program and wrap up with VCard Global as our last interview for this week. And hey, speaking of the show, if you have any feedback at all, feel free to share it on my website, marksaltzman.com. That's MarkSaltzman.com, or you can hit me up on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and so on. Or you could just send me an email outright, tech@marksaltzman.com. Again, that's Mark with a C. If you have any feedback on the program, if you've been enjoying it, if there's something you don't like about it, if you have a suggestion for an upcoming guest or a topic that you would like me to tackle, please do so. Or if you have a tech question, I'm good with that. I always try to write back to my listeners, or I answer them on the air anonymously. I won't give out your name, of course, or what state you're from, but I will try to address your questions privately or publicly, yet anonymously, because we know that you've got those tech questions and I'm here to help answer them. When we return, we're going to continue our chat with VCard Global. We'll be right back.
Follow Mark Saltzman on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want.
We're chatting with Stephen Remondini. He's the Chief Technical Officer at VCard. So how would VCard then compare to other, let's call them digital business card programs that are out there on the market?
Yeah, there's a lot of them out there that are designed specifically for a specific task. You'll have some that are designed just for real estate. You'll have some that are designed to be like what they call a front end to a CRM. It captures all of the user's information, but then it exports it to a CRM, and then the CRM does the work for follow-up and scheduling meetings and stuff like that. VCard right now is probably the only card out there, at least it's the only one out there that I've known in the last couple of years that does all the things we do. We have a miniature type CRM function in there. So if I have an inbox and a sent box, so if I was to send you my card today, it would have a record of that, and I could follow up with you via the sent box. If you were to send my card out to another person, a third party, I would get notification of that, and that who that third party is and whether or not they've saved it or installed it. And in answer to the first part of the question that you asked, we have videos on V cards. We have I've got a wonderful little old lady in New Orleans that has a 26-page V card with each page dedicated to a wholesale product that she represents, and then she ties that page to PayPal or to a Paygate on a website somewhere. But every time she adds or subtracts a product, all of her customers get a notification of that, and they can either see the new product or see what's changed on the card. And so she doesn't do any printed brochures or anything of any kind.
How do you get going, and what platforms are supported? Is it mobile first, or is it very PC or Mac centric?
Actually, it'll run on a PC or a Macintosh or a tablet. We don't have it quite ready to run on the mobile phone by itself, but you can definitely go to the app stores and download vCard Global and just download the app. It's free. We have a free version of the card that allows you to set up as many pages you want, but it'll only display the first page, and it will only allow you to put in your contact information. It doesn't allow you to put in any coupons or forms or videos or anything like that. If you pay for the card, the premium service is $69 a year, so less than a cup of coffee a month, and you can literally have unlimited pages. You can pass it out unlimited times, and you can change it as many times as you want, and it's only going to ever be $69 a year.
All right. Yeah, it certainly seems affordable enough, and certainly a lot less than I paid for my batch of business cards recently.
Right.
If somebody taps on your V card at the end of an email, say on an iPhone or an Android device, what would happen then if it's not technically supported on a mobile device yet?
It'll actually launch the browser on that device, and pretty much every phone in the world has a browser, okay? So it'll launch that browser, and it'll display the card. And because we base this on a many website technology, it will actually be fully functional, even without the app installed on the phone. So you don't actually have to have the app in order to get somebody's V card and save it in your contacts. Be able to get notifications, be able to see changes, and stuff like that. You would need the app to make that happen, okay? But you could actually just save it in your native contacts list on both iOS or Android phone, and then just go back and click the link, and it'll launch the browser, and you'll see any changes or be able to communicate with that person. All
right, Stephen, and what's the best website to learn more and get going?
vcardglobal.com.
All right, vcard, one word, VCARD, global.com. All right, absolutely. Stephen, thank you so much for your time. Thanks, I appreciate it.
You're very welcome, Mark. Thanks for having me.
All right. As I mentioned a couple of minutes ago, I'm always up for email questions or something on social media. And I did just get this from a listener who was on Twitter asking what I thought of the new Samsung phones and how many were unveiled. So there was actually 5 different smartphones unveiled by Samsung last week, most of them under the Galaxy S10 family moniker. So there's the 5.8-inch Galaxy S10e, which is a smaller one, less expensive. The Galaxy S10, their main flagship phone, that's 6.1 inches, a larger 6.4-inch Galaxy S10 Plus with some extra cameras and extra horsepower. Then there's the 6.7-inch Galaxy S10 5G version with Verizon, which is pretty cool. And then finally, the Galaxy Fold. This is a smartphone that's about 4.5 inches that unfolds to a full 7.3-inch tablet and has 6 cameras. So really cool stuff coming up. I haven't had any hands-on time with it other than the Galaxy S10 Plus. I love the cameras and the battery life, so I am enjoying these so far, but I'll give you a more in-depth review next week. This show, Tech It Out, is brought to you by ASUS, creating technology for today and tomorrow's smart life. ASUS, for those in search of incredible. Visit asus.com/US/radio for more info. That's asus.com/US/radio. Have a great rest of your weekend, everyone, or if you're listening to the podcast version, have a great rest of your day, and we'll chat with you next time on Tech It Out. Bye-bye for now.